to Objections with Stan Willis. I am not C. Stanley Willis. I see Stanley Willis over here and his two friends. C. Stanley, how are you?
I don't have any friends.
That's going to be a real awkward show for half an hour.
Just saying. I don't know who these guys are. They just showed up one day and...
You know you write them checks.
No, he picked us off out of the street.
First of all, I was you guys...
checks? Actually, we don't write checks. We have direct deposit. So there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to quiz you and say, do you know their last names? But we'll just move on for the sake of time. Boys, today what I want to talk about is who influences you. And one of the things is that when Stan and I are talking about things, we're talking about people that lived 20, 30, 40 years ago. Like things that we read or things that we watched. Now, everybody can see anybody, right? And you have these shifts in culture, like you have the Andrew Tate culture, then you have the boy who wears a sports bra culture, whatever that dude's name is. And there are people that are picking sides. But I kind of want to get you, because you've grown up in when anybody can see anything on social media, good, bad, or indifferent. We did not.
You know what the weirdest culture is? Is these guys that are tanning their balls. Have you seen this?
I want to change the topic of the show today. Why are they toasting their nuts there?
I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. There's like a whole group of them. It's on the internet. Have you guys heard of them?
You said tanning their balls?
Yeah,
I've heard
do you
of like
notice
sunning or something.
These guys are
like
on.
sun their...
They're not. It's not their nuts, dude. It's their o-hole. They're sunning their bunger.
I thought it was their nuts. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
Well, I'm sure when you got your knees around your ears, they're sunning their exit velocity.
Their chocolate starfish.
Do you wonder what?
Extra vitamin D.
What are you thinking about? You know what I think would help.
Are you following this guy? Like, who is this? Is this the Joe Rogan of bung?
No, I saw this guy on TV the other day. On the.
You saw it on TV.
I saw it on TV on a.
Was it Rachel Maddow?
No,
because that dude's sunning his bunghole.
Like some kind of like special report. They were
on the verge of nuclear war. Let's go out to Arizona and then Sedona.
And they were talking to this dude, and that's what he does. Is he does these?
That's his job.
Yeah, he teaches.
He tans them up.
People.
Nate, get on LinkedIn and see if there's a sun in your hole job. Because if it pays $80,000, it has benefits. I'm gonna do it.
I just kind of thought it was.
Do you know what my question was going to be, Stan? Who was someone you looked up to?
Well, not that guy.
Well, I think he's one of mine now.
I'm just thinking, how many hours a day do you do that? Or do you do that on your lunch break?
I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. It is literally the weirdest thing I've seen recently.
You've seen something worse than that. A special report on that. Why are you thinking so hard about this? You saw this on the news. That's the worst thing you could have said because
I did see it on the news.
But the news is fake news according to Donald Trump, so that didn't really happen.
It was like a regular news, like on CBS or something. And they're going, oh yeah, we've got this story about these guys that are talking about getting sun on their nads or.
I was going to talk about how censorship is bad, but now I'm on the other side of that. I want that censored.
I've changed my mind on censorship.
Well, I mean, what if you got sunburnt?
It'd be painful.
That'd be the worst. That'd be literally the worst.
Can you imagine having to go to the doctor for that? Doc, got a weird story for you, but I got a really bad burn, and I can't reach it.
I can't reach it.
Ken, I'll start with you. Who is somebody that that you look at that would be your role model, the person that you would say, that guy gets it, and I want to be like that?
Oh, geez. You mean someone who, like, actually gets it?
Yeah, like, do you ever... So, for us, I said this before we started, the people that I looked at was, like, a Cal Ripken, just because he went to work every day, right? So, growing up as a kid, it was like, good, bad, or indifferent, that guy's going to be in the lineup. And I looked at that in my work life. Like, I didn't miss work. I didn't stay home because I was sick. If I had even if I hated that job, I still showed up every day because that's what he did. You know what I mean? It was like you had something to look at and say, if nothing else, that guy kept showing up. You know what I mean? Like, is it a Joe Rogan? Is it an Andrew Tate? Is it something like that?
I don't know. I've never really had any, like, big.
Well, I mean, it could be your
models.
family. You know what I mean?
It is. It's probably my mom or my dad.
Are they married?
Yes.
This is do you know how rare that is actually?
In 2023, yeah.
Do you know the statistics on divorce?
No, but I'd imagine it's a lot higher than it should be.
49% get divorced in the first marriage, 68 on the second, and 86 on the third.
Well, I mean, if you're going for third, you might as well shoot for 4.
Well, I was talking to my dad about that, and he was like, Jesus, why is it so high on the third? Because you're probably in your 60s, and this woman's probably snoring. You're like, I could kill this bitch, or I could just get away from her. I have my money. I'm going to die soon, so you don't care.
I mean, if you have your money, you could probably get a 20-year-old, too.
Well, let's hear more about this idea than the butthole surfing. Does it... I'm glad you brought that up.
He's speechless.
Well, because I was thinking, 20-year-old, that's probably cost me $40,000. What I'm saying to you is, I read it.
It'd be way more than that.
I'm not keeping it.
It'd be way more than that.
It's like renting a boat. At some point, I put it right back where I found it. Hopefully, or it'll just be marooned.
I don't think it's that easy.
I read that somebody wrote this thing. I think it was on Tumblr or something, and someone posted on Instagram. And this, I don't have this experience. You guys might. That men have to work 20 times harder to get a woman 30 times worse than their grandmother. Like in terms of morals and values and all that stuff. You have to work harder for these girls today that don't have as much value. Is that?
Absolutely.
Because you're in your 20s. I don't even know what 20-year-olds talk about.
At this point, every girl in their 20s probably has an OnlyFans or something.
Yeah, I subscribe to like most
why
of them.
work hard for it when I could just throw $5 at her and get a picture of a butthole?
Man, we need a T-shirt that says that. But doesn't it bother you? Like
Absolutely.
I would. Stan and I were talking about when we were younger and dating. Every girl that we wanted to date looked like Kurt Cobain. Like they had the flannels and they just looked like they took garbage out for a living. And then you could get surprised and be like, "Oh my God, look at this! Look what's under this wrapping." And now every girl out there is like, "I'm not even going to wear clothes." And it's like, "Could you just put on a sweater? Just let me see what that looks like." You know what I mean?
Put on something.
Yeah.
It would disturb me to have to date these girls because it just, I don't know. You explain it to me. Reeve, you're shaking your head pretty hard. A lot of hooers out there.
Yeah, a lot of hooers.
And you mean that professionally?
Wait, do you have an OnlyFans site, Reeve?
No,
course
but
he
I-
does.
Can you drop the link for that?
Maybe we should start one instead of.
Underneath the screen, it should just scroll. Something like that.
I think the world is kind of glorifying being a whore and giving you a lot of, like, that's the thing you should do. If you feel like you should go sleep with the whole state of Utah, soak with the whole state of Utah, you should. Like,
It
it's,
seems that he chose Utah.
There's a lot of Mormons. I mean, those people do
of
bang.
Mormons.
There's what, like 40 people
they
there?
soak. They don't bang.
Oh, that's true.
So,
They do it under the guise of the Lord. I understand.
yeah.
Not
above
Berkshire.
their roommate while they're shaking it. But I feel like
I don't know if I want the girl with a roommate. Go on.
the females especially, but everyone in our generation is kind of influenced to do whatever makes them feel okay right this second. And we met with Stan yesterday and talked about
Females?
instant gratification.
It's a weekly thing.
Prudence.
Prudence, yeah. You know her?
Who the hell's Prudence? Oh, you mean that? Oh, the girl.
No, the value, the value.
Excuse me. I thought you meant the girl with that had the case here. If you know what I mean.
The one out back?
Shh. No, you know what I mean. Where she actually. Anyway, go on.
So I feel like it's, you get pregnant, just have an abortion. It's fine. No big deal. You do whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you feel good. And so a lot of people have latched on to this idea of I do whatever is good for me. Girls, I wear whatever makes me feel good. Oh, I wear it for myself. That's my favorite thing that girls say. I wear these booty shorts and cut off t-shirt, tank top, whatever for myself because it makes me feel good. I'm like, that wouldn't make me feel good if I put it in.
Gives me a rash around the cave, but I'm gonna wear it every day.
It's just mind-boggling because I don't think anyone would subject themselves to that because it makes them feel good. So I think people have bad ideas of what's important in our generation a lot, and a lot of importance has gone on what makes you feel good and what is okay with you, what you decide in the moment right away without really thinking about any consequences. So that's why we said they basically all have OnlyFans or children at this point.
Stan, Do you look at this generation and just go, "What the hell is going on out there"?
It's pretty frightening, really. It is.
I honestly
I'm
feel bad
kind
for you guys.
I tell my kids all the time, you know, my kids are all have a pretty good work ethic, and they're reasonably intelligent most of the time. That they're way smarter than I was when I was their age, and I keep telling them, given what I see when we're trying to hire in kind of that generation, given what I see by comparison, they're going to own the world because they're willing to work hard. And the biggest issue I think with people in Reeve and Kendall's age class is just they're not willing to put effort into nearly anything that doesn't give them immediate gratification of some kind.
Does that bother you guys that you're useless pieces of shit?
No, I mean, I know it. I own it.
When you, but so as you're growing up, did you have something in mind that you wanted to do? Either one of you, where you're like, because there are people that are like, I want to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. I'm a lawyer on this show, but were there things that you wanted to do and you're just because no one really will stand in your way if you choose what it is you want to do. But do you find it hard because there's not somebody reaching out to pull you up? Like all of us, I think had, would say like a mentor or somebody that could open a door for you.
Or just kick your ass, yeah.
Well, either way, right? They could be rough on you and they could love on you at the same time. Do you guys have that in your life? Oh, it's Stan. So it's not going well. But outside of Stan, if you hadn't have met him, would there have been somebody who could have helped you get where you want to get?
Where I want to get? No, probably not. But I mean, I could find a job. I could find something to pass the time until I get to where I want to be.
What do you want to be?
I want to entertain people. I want to play video games for a living. I want to sit in my basement 40 hours a day. And,
Is he fucking serious?
I'm 100% serious.
Seriously.
Dead
Okay.
serious.
I want to...
Have you started streaming yet? You
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
start streaming.
Yeah.
I can show you how to do that.
You can show me how to make it better.
I can't show you how to play games. I can just show you how
I
to
can show
turn
you
on.
how to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
I can show
blame
you how
you.
to play games, just not very well.
Like I like certain things, but they have to be like Assassin's Creed or something, so I can be on the phone with a client. I'm not really listening. I'm like taking in what I need. And I'm like, this is just mundane, and do it over and over again. But I see people that are streamers, like Nate and I will watch people doing what's called a card break, buying packages of baseball cards and all that stuff. All I'm thinking about is the money they're making. Like I know how to make money off those things. I don't get that I'm going to play this for 4 hours. I'm not telling you can't do it. I'm saying if you want to do it, what's stopping you from doing it?
The immense amount of effort that I'd have to put in order to get to any kind of point where I'd be self-sufficient.
But, okay, tell me more about that. Why?
So I make money off of it now, but I don't make anywhere near enough that I would be able to quit my job and do it full time.
But why do you think that?
Because I make $100 every 4 or
No,
5
no,
months.
I understand right now.
Oh,
But what I'm saying is, I see this a lot in people under, say, 35. I want to be this. And they get like a little bit of success. If you want to do it, you can do it, but you got to pour your whole soul into this thing. And it's not going to be easy, right? Like Stan wanted to be a lawyer. He didn't say, well, I'm just going to kind of go to law school. I'm not being critical. I want you to do what you want to do. I'm just saying there's this generation where they don't understand nothing is stopping you other than your time and your effort, right? So if you want to do that and that's where your mind is, doing this, you're never going to be, it's not going to give you enough. Do you know what I mean? You're going to get a check, but you're going to be like, it doesn't mean anything. And at the end of the day, it doesn't mean much to him because you're just putting in time. You know what I mean? And it's not, I'm not being shitty. I'm just telling you, when I wanted to do what I was doing, I had to quit. And I had to lose every single friend that I had. No one would talk to me, and I was in that business for 15 years.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
You had friends?
I thought I did.
Okay.
But when I quit working in corporate media and got on the outside, it was like you're a leper. It was the greatest freedom ever because I wanted to do this thing for myself. I wanted to make things myself. I wanted to do it my way. But if you, and you don't have to do it if you don't really want to. I'm just saying if there's something you really want to do in life, you only get one shot. I would be doing everything I could to do that because you can do it and you can fail, but at least you know. Right now, you don't know. And it's easy not to chase it because you're not going to fail. See what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not being critical. I don't want you to take it that way, asshole.
So
Reed,
what I just
is-
heard is my idea is bad.
No. I'm saying,
I was making a joke.
please don't make jokes. That's not what the
Okay,
show's
all right.
for. The show's
I'll
a
be
very serious
exclusively
show.
literal.
Yeah, please don't laugh.
I'm just saying, I love the fact that you just said what you want to do. I just want to see you do it,
I do too.
right? But if I talk to you a week from now and, hey, what'd you do? Nothing. At some point, I'm going to stop asking you about it because you don't want it that badly. And it's not picking on you. It's that generation because when I was coming up, I wanted to be on radio. It took me 15 years to do it because I was selling radio and every program director would say, well, you sell it. You can't do this, right? Somebody's limiting what you're doing. I had 14 or 16 different radio shows on major radio stations here because I wanted it to happen. It doesn't matter how long it took me to get there. And now I'm doing this podcast, and sadly, it's gone right down the table, right? Reeve, what about you? What do you want to do?
I don't know what job I want to do for the rest of my life, but I do want to change the world the most that I can in the best fashion that I can. So that's my goal.
Do you want to be a politician?
I would be a politician. I would be more of a Trump-like politician because I would be the guy who says I don't really
Sleeping with
care
people.
what you think. Pay off porn stars to have affairs with them, you know.
I wouldn't even pay them.
Give him a crisp high five and say good job.
That's too much effort. I would have to raise my hand. Good little handshake, firm.
Put her there.
Yeah. See you later, Stormy Daniels. But see, here's your advantages. People your age aren't thinking that way. And you already have a mindset of what you want to do. No one's going to stop you. So now you got to raise capital. That's why you go to Stan and say, can I get a loan? And he's going to say no because I'm a libertarian now and I won't vote for you. Stan, you always wanted, I know, what was your original goal of what you wanted to be?
I was going to play football in the NFL.
And what stopped you?
You mean aside from lack of ability?
Yeah. Other than skill, size, talent, what stopped you?
Nothing stopped me other than those things.
No, but
It was the startling realization that I was not ever going to be able to do it.
but wasn't it also your last year you kind of
It was
lost passion for
my
it?
senior year in college. Yeah.
But you lost passion for it, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That's not a negative either.
No,
Is
you
you
gotta-
realize
gotta-
that you need to do something else.
I had a moment when I was standing on the sidelines and I was injured. I was injured for most of my senior year, and a moment standing on the sidelines where it just hit me. I really don't want to do this anymore.
But did you feel like you failed?
No, I felt like I didn't want to do this anymore.
Right. But that's what I'm saying to you guys is you can change your mind. You can go after something and you could get there. Worst thing you can ever do is you can get the thing you want. I don't know if you ever heard this about greyhounds when they're racing on tracks. If they ever catch the rabbit, they have to put the dog down because it doesn't have another thing. It just realized the thing it was chasing all this time is fictitious. It's a piece of plastic. The dog doesn't have another purpose. Human beings can do something different. But that's why it's great that your parents
Is that
are
true?
That is true. It's 100%
Really?
true.
I thought he was talking about the bus.
If a bus races a dog and runs over the dog, it takes care of both things. But when you see the Andrew Tates of the world and Joe Rogan and all, everybody thinks that they can do a podcast. You can. Anyone can do it. To grow an audience is totally different.
We do it.
Yeah, anyone can do it. I mean,
And our audience is growing. Like my aunt just joined. So
she's gonna hate the last two
It's
shows.
like 7 now.
Well, again, it is the difference is if you want to do a podcast or you want to do a show, anything is open to you. But you have to be willing to do that work. And you're gonna have to get your head kicked in a lot of times. But eventually someone goes, listen, dude, you're doing this wrong. Come this way and I'll show you how to do it. And they guide you and get you there. You're young enough that you can do anything you want. But within a few years, you're going to be dating that OnlyFans girl who wants to get married. And you're going to find out she banged everybody in the wedding party. That's the thing, is you have to decide. Because
And all the other OnlyFans people.
and me, because I'm the subscriber.
Ew.
You just made it. I just subscribed with your
That'd be
credit
a
card.
deal breaker right there. You did what with Mike? Now I'm out.
I want to ask you. I want to ask you before we run out of time, because Reeve didn't make a face. Kendall, you made a face when I said getting married.
I was talking about the every single person in the wedding party.
Oh,
I want to get married. I absolutely want to
You're
get
going to be
married.
with some
To
disgusting
everybody
girls.
in the wedding party?
Every single one of them at once.
I like that he's open to all things.
He's like he's like Owen Wilson's character in Zoolander 2. He's married to the whole
Yes.
orgy.
To the
My
posse.
honeymoon will just be an orgy.
But is that something that when you guys look at it, does I don't know. It makes me sick to think about. You are going to run into an OnlyFans type of chick, and you're going to fall for it, and you're like, I don't care about that kind of your past. We didn't have to worry about that because you were like, oh, that girl's been with more than 3 people. Forget it. I can't be with her. We were always looking for the Virgin Mary.
I mean, that's how I am.
It's kind of true.
I absolutely. Every person has their own individual worth, and you've used up all of yours on the 50 guys that you went with on your OnlyFans.
Right.
I'm not that interested anymore. I mean, that's absolutely a deal breaker to me.
Anyway, there's a statistic that not everybody talks about. You can find it. Mark Gungor is a guy that does some marital counseling. He's a really funny guy, by the way. You should check him out. He's hilarious. But Mark, he has it on his site, and then there's some other places that you can find this. But if 2 people when they get married, if they're having sex for the first time on their wedding night, their chances of getting divorced is only about 4%. If the 2 people are getting married and they've only had sex with each other, their chances of getting divorced is only about 18%. And the interesting thing about it is each sexual partner on either side increases the chances of divorce. So the more a person has sex, not the more they have sex, but the more a person has sex with different people prior to marriage, the more likely that they will get divorced.
But it does make them cooler, so there's a trade-off.
It makes them cooler to some people, I guess. I don't know.
Like
but
other cool people.
yes, I guess that's possibly true.
That's totally true. That's a provable thing by mathematics.
Okay.
Trust the science.
Go ahead.
Trust the science.
Tell me about it.
My life in general?
No, just how cool you are.
Just give me a pen and I'll draw some stuff. And it's going to be disgusting.
I've seen your drawings before.
Well, you should have seen
They're
some of
not
the women
very
I was
good.
with. They're not very good either. Boys, it's closing time.
You know what, dude? It's like every time you start talking about dating women, I think of that Groucho Marx line. I wouldn't join a club that would have me as a member.
Trust me.
I wouldn't date a woman that
They're
would have
not
me as a
walking around with
boyfriend.
t-shirts being proud of it either. I think that's a good place to end on, is you slamming me about my choices of women. And those women, I'm going to see them at the hometown buffet. They both work there and they eat there. That's going to do it for the show today.
Isn't that
We'll
close?
see you next. Them?
Yeah.
No, their mouth is always open. We'll see you next week.